has 3 kids, ages tween to teen from his former marriage, while I have 2 ages tween to young teen. From my former marriage, I quit my job to start focusing on getting my degree. He's become the breadwinner, although I still contribute with my savings. I also do 80% of child care and chores. Long story short, he wanted me and my kids to attend Thanksgiving with his family, who are located across the country. And we were supposed to go yesterday ahead of time to get a rental place. So we booked our tickets and everything. But later before the flight, I found out that his kids and I were in first class while my 2 kids were in economy. I was stunned. He acted like it was no big deal and told us it's just for a few hours and the kids could just hang in there for a little while. I asked how we could think this was acceptable and he got mad and said he's the one paying for the tickets. Then we go by his rules. I immediately turned around, took the kids and made my way out of the airport. He started following us, screaming at me to return. But I refused and told him I no longer felt like spending Thanksgiving with his folks. After this, my youngest cried because she never flew without me. He went with his kids and the kids and I are home. However, he's not stopped calling, trying to criticize me, and even had his mom text that I needed to get over myself and stop teaching my kids to be spoiled and entitled. She said that the fact that I was willing to miss Thanksgiving with the family over something so trivial shows my real character, personality, and mindset or lack thereof. I've not replied, but I feel horrible. Am I the idiot? Should I have just let it slide and just gone in case I wasn't clear? The kids and I left our family/hometown so we could go celebrate with his family in his hometown. My kids weren't too excited about leaving their grandparents for a week or so. This is just insane, but at least he was very clear in his actions. Your kids are second-rate compared to his own. Listen to what his actions tell you and you do your kids a favor. Find a new fiancé. The fact that his mother agrees with him means nothing except that she's just as insane. Now, we know where he gets it. Not the idiot at all. Thank you for protecting your kids. They'll never forget it. Wow, he's a jerk. His kids in first class. Your kids in economy. That's a bad sign for the future. So Dennis' response is to berate you and future mother-in-law, calling your kids spoiled and entitled. Even worse, it would not have ended there. I would be done with that relationship too. He obviously doesn't think your kids deserve to be treated equally to his kids. How often does he exclude your children from group activities? What else does he do to make them feel second class? And why are you allowing this? Maybe use this time to have a real think about the man you'll be marrying and his attitude towards your children. I would personally use this time to pack my stuff and be out of the house before he gets back. Agree? P. Please get another job ASAP. Find a new place to live. Pack up your kids and get as far away from this idiot as possible. There's nothing remotely okay with this behavior or attitude towards your children. The fact that he waited until you moved in and became financially dependent upon him before showing his true colors with regard to your children speaks volumes. Story 2. My sister 46 had an affair with her coworker who was married with 2 kids. As the story goes, he was in an arranged marriage and was unhappy, but his wife wouldn't let him get a divorce. So supposedly they were separated. My sister claims it was not an affair. But the timeline is a little funny and they didn't get divorced until a year and a half until my sister's relationship with him. And only because she threatened to leave him if he didn't get the divorce finalized as someone married and in a monogamous relationship for 11 years. I find this disgusting on both their parts if they're not divorced or separated. And okay with each other dating, I would consider what happens an affair. I might have lied here. In my opinion, my sister broke up a marriage and a family again if they had gotten together after he was divorced or if his wife was in agreement with the separation and they were just waiting on paperwork, fine. But that's not how it went down. All that being said, I have no desire to meet this guy and do not want to be around him in our family gatherings. I understand my sister's also to blame, but she'll be there regardless of how I feel. Is it so wrong that I don't want to pretend to be friendly and okay with him on a day when we're all supposed to be celebrating with loved ones? My mom and sister think I'm the idiot because their relationship doesn't affect me. But my brother agrees that he doesn't want him or his children around this guy. My mom argues that his wife was horrible and since it was an arranged marriage, he didn't have a choice and was never happy, and that they were separated. Isn't that always the case with affairs though? The married partner has always some sort of sob story about how their partner just doesn't understand them. Am I the idiot? Here you are the idiot. I don't think you understand how abusive and manipulative arranged marriages can be. Oftentimes the extended family puts extreme pressure on the couple to stay together to the point of emotional abuse and gaslighting. Women are often considered used goods after a divorce and considered lesser by the community. He was thrown into an extremely crappy situation by his family and he wasn't happy. His family is responsible for the ruined marriage more than he is. Exactly. What proof do you need to know he was separated? You don't know if they were separated. You were just making assumptions and forming your narrative. His wife may have also been seeing someone else and hated the marriage just as much. It's not your place to judge. You are overstepping and causing unwanted drama. Number 1, it just doesn't sound like this was an affair at all. Sounds more like you're just looking for a reason to be mad at your sister. Number 2, their relationship doesn't affect you. And what exactly do you think he'll do around the family? Is he gonna start encouraging all your kids to be polygamous? You make many assumptions about a relationship. You're not a part of lady, mind your own business. Story 3. My parents divorced when I was 7. As my dad had an affair, my mom has even admitted she didn't love him. And the affair hurt her pride more than anything else. They were also heavily pressured to marry by their parents, which made sense. I'm not condoning what my dad did, but it was pretty clear the marriage was for show. Anyway, my dad married his affair partner, Emma, and she was the best stepmom a kid could ask for. She always tried to make me feel like her own. My mom married Owen a few years later and he really didn't give a crap about me. That being said, Owen clearly loves my mom and lavishes her with attention. So she has emotional and financial support also if he needed to do something for me, like say she was sick and I needed a ride. He just never engaged with me as a result. I prefer my dad's house. My mom didn't make a fuss when I began spending all my time there. She would take me on some weekends to do fun stuff, but she wasn't that into the day-to-day stuff. I don't hate her. We have an okay relationship, but I prefer my dad and Emma. I'm currently getting married. We'll call her Kate. Kate has a civil but shallow relationship with my mom and a great relationship with Emma. Emma has been helping her a lot with the wedding planning though. My mom is actually a wedding planner, so that might irritate her a bit. Well, recently Kate contacted my mom to talk to her about the mother of the groom dress. We want our parents to match our aesthetic. Kate asked my mom to wear yellow and my mom didn't seem to have a problem at first but did make a snide comment about how it isn't fair that the bride's mom gets to choose first. Kate let it slip that her mom and Emma had already chosen and my mom lost it. She called Kate disrespectful and said she couldn't wear yellow because she was blonde. At this point, Owen started laughing at our wedding colors, so I got annoyed. My mom tried to guilt me by saying it wasn't fair and that Emma and my dad could give me more attention and fun. But my mom was a single mom. I laughed and said she was not a single mom. She was married. He helped out if he had to, was a great financial provider and clearly made her happy. So I don't want to hear her whining. My mom snapped at me that she was a single mom and I'm devaluing that and choosing my cheating dad over her again. She called Kate a witch and said that she would not be wearing yellow. Owen blew up and told me to leave his house and get away from his wife. Not the idiot single parents do not have someone to share the responsibility of raising a child as a mother in general. It doesn't sound like she parented you to the best of her abilities. And thankfully you had another set of parents who cared for you. Well, unfortunately, narcissistic parents like these are so common. You're not an idiot for pointing out the truth. Wow, way toxic environment there. So, you basically grew up with your dad and stepmom. Your mom doesn't get involved in the wedding planning. And now she tries to spoil it and verbally abuses your fiancé. I would say the most important thing is to stand by your soon-to-be wife. You're starting a family and this is your big day. She called Kate a witch. I would ask for an apology for this, and if she doesn't, she's not needed at your wedding. I think she doesn't want to go. Because people will see how much closer you and Kate are to your family with your dad, which is no wonder, and she doesn't want to be seen as who she is. She decided to play a more remote role in your upbringing. As many divorced fathers do, that was okay for you. You had a loving and caring family, but to now try to rewrite history and call your wife a witch. If you don't put your foot down, now you're off to a bad start in your marriage. You are the idiot. I don't know. You seem to gloss right over the fact that your dad had an affair that ended up wrecking their marriage. Sounds like she still harbors some resentment about that and wasn't nearly as cool with it as you insist. She was. Am I guessing that her getting you on the weekends when you were a kid was because she was working during the week? It sounds like she still feels sad and guilty about that too. Story 4. For several years, she was a single mother, so I'm not sure why you felt you needed to challenge her. She probably struggled after her marriage ended far more than you realize. Your dad had another family waiting for him after the divorce. Your mother did not. Have you ever tried to talk to your mom about her life? I guess not. Lots of people here say she's a narcissist, but is she really my ex and I share 50-50 custody of our son, Gabriel tween? Basically, we have him every other weekend. She also has a son, Tim, a preschooler from her second marriage. They're divorced and the custody arrangement is like ours, except she has Tim the same week. I have Gabriel at my house. Her second ex-husband used to work around our custody agreement, so he asked me to change ours. This is a huge deal, and the reality is that I cannot just sign off on it. If I just say, okay, she'll ask for more accommodations at my expense. I told her to think about what she would offer me to go along with this plan. She got mad that I wouldn't just do it. But honestly, if she had offered me something like an extra holiday, I'd gone along with it. She even said that she wouldn't pay my legal fees because the judge has to sign off on any custody changes in our state. Now, she's angry and I don't care. Both boys are just happy being together. They're not. Why? Because they get to have all their parents to themselves. And my relationship with my son is more important than that with his brother. Am I the idiot for refusing to change a custody agreement? I work in a family law office, and dealing with idiots like you is the worst part of my job by far. Instead of doing what's in the best interest of your children, like preserving a healthy co-parenting relationship that will make your children's lives materially better, you're choosing to be a major idiot. Worst of all, the kids usually suffer the most when you have a parent being a idiot like you are. You are the idiot all the way. Your screw. You got mine. Attitude disgusts me. It's absurd that OP finds it completely normal for two close in age boys to be raised by the same mother in the same home, and never see each other. Never go to grandma's or parks together and never go with mom on vacation together. That's insane. And presumably these boys have been living together during the marriage with dad number 2 and now they'll never see each other. That's honestly cruel. Your son should be growing up with his sibling. He's a human being, not a bargaining chip. My relationship with my son is more important than that with his brother. Read that back to yourself, be the better person, love your child more than you hate your ex, swap weeks so that the siblings can see each other. The only reason not to is if you have a work situation where you're deployed or working overnight during those weeks. There will come a day when you need your ex's support. This is very short-sighted. Story 5. My girlfriend and I have been together for about 3 years and she met my daughter when she was in mid-teen. My daughter is a year older now and has a boyfriend who usually comes over. I've met the kid and I've known him since he was like 9, so I don't mind at all. I let them go into the room and shut the door. I trust my daughter and her boyfriend. If I had a reason or I felt something fishy going on, then I'll address it. But other than that, you'd be surprised how much just a little privacy helps a kid anyways. My daughter and her boyfriend came over as usual. However, the issue is my girlfriend's issue with the door being closed when he was over. She constantly went into the room like she was trying to catch them in the act. She sat on their bed and clearly tried to converse with them. But you could tell it was just to be there with them. She'd go in and purposely not shut the door on her way out, or she would try to find some reason to usher them out of the room, I guess. She also went to my daughter and told her that it's not okay to have doors closed in the house, especially with the boy, and to not do it again because she's a child, and we should know what she's doing in there. Apparently, she's done this 4 times and my daughter finally told me about it. I talked to her and said that I'm fine with it. They aren't gonna drop pants, they're cuddling like normal teenagers. And I don't appreciate you having that kind of discussion with my kid without my knowledge, and please be aware when she's stepping out of bounds. She said that when she's here, it makes her uncomfortable and she should have just as much say as I do because 1, my daughter will never take her seriously, and 2, she feels uncomfortable with that. And if she feels uncomfortable, it should be changed. And 3, no kid should be left with a guy unattended, and to not be aware of what my kid is doing is neglectful. And I'll pay the price when she's pregnant. I said number 1, her reasoning seems like some sort of power play to show her authority, which my daughter nor I ever said was okay. Number 2, I'm sorry she feels uncomfortable, but that gives her no right to make my kid uncomfortable. And these are the boundaries I made with my child. And number 3, if I thought my kid would be irresponsible with the freedom I choose to give, I wouldn't give it, and she's not giving her or me any reason to believe she's reckless with herself or others. We went back and forth with her saying that I was letting her make bad decisions and that since I won't be a normal parent, she would watch her as she saw fit. I said that if she continues to undermine my authority as her parent, she needs to leave as she won't make my kid feel like she has no privacy, and won't undermine me as a parent. Well, she left. I've talked about this to a few people and while they agree she was wrong, they say kicking her out was wrong of me, not the idiot. Your girlfriend has known your daughter for just about a year and girlfriend thinks it's okay that she should have authority over your daughter rather than form a bond with her. It's one thing if your daughter is making bad decisions and messing up her life, even then how your girlfriend is going about this crosses so many boundaries. If your girlfriend can't respect the boundaries you've set with the trust you've put in your daughter, this relationship isn't salvageable. You've been dating for 3 years and aren't engaged or anything. Cut your losses. OP, I'm sorry. If she feels uncomfortable, it should be changed. Absolutely mental. This lady has issues. You were right to stand your ground and correct on kicking her out. In my opinion, she wouldn't have gotten the message without such measures. Heck, chances are she still hasn't gotten it, but whatever, take care of my dude. Exactly. Crazy mental issues. I couldn't ever imagine saying something like that to a person I'm dating, not her home, not her child. I could vaguely understand if she were living with you permanently, but she's not. If she had an issue, she should have come to you first instead of assuming she had the right to act in local parenties. Also, this kind of attitude results in kids being secretive and hiding things. That's when the problems are most likely to arise. You are the idiot, and it's adorable that you think all your daughter and her boyfriend are doing is cuddling behind closed doors. I do agree with your girlfriend that allowing your teen daughter to be behind closed doors with this boy might not be the best decision. So generally consider if her concerns have mirrored. But obviously, you know your child better than strangers on the internet. If you're wrong, you'll learn the hard way.